A lot of us are getting stuck at home right now just because of the crazy times out there, and we're starting to get cabin fever. All of us want to get out there and do some hiking and backpacking, so today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to beat that cabin fever. The number one tip to beat cabin fever is organizing your gear. Maybe you just got it in a pile in your garage or on your patio or even in your room. But it's time to organize your gear. Get a rack, maybe get some bins. I just saw a video from Miyagi on the trail, and he is really organized. He has tons of bins. Myself, I put stuff in bins. I've got a rack with my sleeping bags up on top. I've got below that are my sleeping pads and my tent, and then I've got my shoes down below that. I've got another rack that's got my stoves. They're in a little bin. Other stuff like water filters, the bags I use to filter water in. All my cook kits are in another one. It's just a great time to organize your gear, and you can also clean it at the same time too. The number 2 way to beat cabin fever is creating a pack list. This is something I really need to do myself, but I've got little lists here and there, but I need to make it a little bit better. I could do it on my phone, maybe an Excel spreadsheet on the computer, or maybe just a notebook and just write down certain things that I'm going to take every time. But that way you don't forget stuff out there. You're not forgetting your water filter, maybe some bug spray, sunscreen, stuff like that. My friend Matt from Lead Me Outdoors, what he does, he gets a little bin of essential items that he takes each time, and that way those items are always there ready to be pulled out. So that's another way you can do it too, but a pack list is great so you don't forget what you need out there when you're hiking and backpacking. The number 3 way to beat cabin fever is researching new trails. It's a lot of fun. You can go on YouTube, you can search in what you want to find. There's tons of videos out there of all sorts of trails. So say you want to, we'll just take Glacier National Park for example. You go on YouTube, type in Glacier National Park, you're going to find a lot of videos on it. You can figure out different campgrounds you can go to, different trails. Then you can go on Google, you can go on all trails, find the trails that are up there, do some research on them, put a list together of campsites you want to go to, trails you want to do. It's a lot of fun. Then while you're doing your research and logistics, you can get your friends involved too. Doesn't mean going over to their house, but you can go through like Facebook Messenger, Google Hangouts, Zoom, any of those. You do a video chat with your friends, and some of those you get to share files too. So you could share a video that you're doing, you could share pictures of locations, and that way you guys can sit down and plan your next trip. So that's number 3. That's another great way to beat cabin fever. The number 4 way to beat cabin fever is training. Yes, I said training. You might not be able to get to the gym right now, but you can still train at home. We can still hike and walk locally, so if you got a trail nearby your house or you're walking around your neighborhood, you can do that. Maybe ride a bike, maybe do a little bit of running. If you live in a 2-story house or even you got some steps nearby, do some step-ups, do some flight of stairs or 2. You can still lift some weights if you got weights at home. You can do lunges in your backyard or in your driveway. You can do some yoga, push-ups, stuff like that. There's so many things you can do for training at home. And that way when you get back on the trails, you got your trail legs ready to go. Number 5, and now this is a fun one. Decide on what gear you have that needs to be upgraded. You can go on YouTube again, do a lot of research, check out new products you want. Maybe you want to learn about some new backpacks. There's Facebook groups that you can ask questions on. But when you're organizing your gear, you might find that, hey, my backpack's got a rip in it, or my sleeping bag is just not lofting like it used to. Maybe you got some shoes that you realize are really beat. This is a perfect time to start doing that research for the gear out there. Check reviews. Just don't go on reviews of like the best gear out there or something. If you just see one review, check out more of it. See the pros and cons of it and see if it's really right for you. There's not just one great tent or sleeping bag or quilt or something like that. It's all up to you and what you feel comfortable with. So do your research, check it out. There's tons of information out there so you can make that right decision on what fits for you. Well, that's going to be it. I know it was a quick one. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got some tips on how to beat cabin fever. If you did, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. Ring the bell down below for any notifications of any new videos I got coming out. Until the next one, thanks for having me.